My sound is good. My lighting is good.
Yeah, everything looks good. Just stand by 1 second here. I'm trying to pull up this live show to make sure everything is all good. Yeah, everything looks good. Just stand by one Where second the here. Hell? I'm trying to pull okay. Up this sorry.
No worries.
Live show to make sure everything is all good. Okay. All right. Okay. Yes, we're live. And hi, everyone. I'm Carrie Cassidy from Project Camelot and very happy to be here today. So I have Mel Carmine with me, and great to have you here, Mel. It's been a long time. I think I had you on my show a really long time ago. And I just figure you've been on your own and doing a great job. So I figured you didn't need me.
No, we always need Kerry Cassidy. You are the pioneer of all of this. Are you kidding?
All right. Well, that's kind of you to say. So, so I'm looking forward to speaking at your event in Florida, and it's going to be fun. And
Yes.
so I want you to talk all about it. I can also, I've got your website behind me, so I can also bring that up if you like, and we can talk about stuff. So go ahead.
Excellent.
So introduce
Thank you.
yourself first and give a background, because
Sure.
some people may not know where you came from.
Absolutely. Well, originally I came from my mother. Well, that's a joke, but everybody comes from their mother. But I was born on the island of Sicily. I'm Italian. Moved to northern Italy. Always knew about the American dream. Always wanted to be in America. We left a gangster Sicily, which is basically, a bunch of mafiosos. We exchanged that for the United States. And when I was a young toddler, my father used to bring me to the movie theater, Il Corallo. We used to watch the American, Texas, and Oklahoma Cowboys. So I said, okay, over there they wear hats and they dress a little funny, but they're probably the same thing, So I was looking forward, because as a toddler, that's how I interpret it. But I always knew about the American dream, and I always knew about entrepreneurship at a very early age. And I wanted to always be my own boss. And when I came to America, I had very, very few jobs. I got fired from practically all of them, including Alamo Rent-A-Car, because I wrote a business plan and I told them, you guys are doing it wrong. You should do it this way. And they said, you're a very nice guy, and we would like to have a Corona beer with you sometime, but you're fired. That was the short and skinny of it. And so I only had maybe a few jobs. Maybe the one where I worked for Frank Berardi, who was a gangster, who owned a place called Copy World, a print shop, which is a front in Lodi, New Jersey, on Harrison Avenue. Other than that, all jobs, I basically got fired, because I realized at an early age, I don't like to have people give me orders. I like to give the orders. You know what I mean? But I do it in such a subtle, nice way that people don't realize that they're actually working for me. They're working with me, and they are. They're part of my family. They're not employees. We don't call them employees. We call them staff members. We call them family. That's what they are. And so people love working with me. I've mastered the art of entrepreneurship. I opened up a healing center in Cape Canaveral called stayingalive.com, alive with two eyes, right on 166 Center Street. The original plan was to have the event upstairs in the surrounded by the machines, but the energy permeates 2.2 miles out. So we're going to still get hit with the direct energy of the scalar wave downstairs in a much bigger facility that can house 500 people. Now, if the XRP goes to $5 or $6, that would probably energize, plus the fact that what happened yesterday, the gut punch that we all got with Donald Trump, that would probably fill up the room very quickly. We are proud to announce, or very close to announcing, we got a 95% possibility that the sheriff of Brevard County is going to show up with my friend Tom Palermo, who is the publisher. He's the publisher and CEO and founder of a publication called Space Coast Daily. And him and I work out at the gym at about 11:30 at night, and we get home about 1:30 in the morning.
Okay. Very admirable. Very admirable.
Yes. Yes. So, look, there's a lot of moving pieces. I think Cape Canaveral may very well become ground zero for something down the road that I didn't even foresee. The facts are, we got a broken planet, not just a broken America, a broken planet. The only thing that's keeping us going right now is the Second Amendment, is the fact that we got people like myself that got cojones, and we are stepping up to the line and saying, listen, if we're going to die on our terms. We're not going to die like little bitches. And so, the reality is that we have people there that have solutions to a lot of problems, growing your food or eating organic. You go to the supermarket today, 99% of these companies that are selling you a product are there specifically to sell you a product. And these companies are all subsidized by the cabal. Okay. And they're not there to do you a favor. They're there to basically razzle and dazzle you with fancy packaging and fancy wording that you guys don't even understand. And you don't understand that when you're buying these products and you're putting this stuff in your body, they're killing you.
Sure.
That's a fact. Okay.
Yes.
So you got the cabal that's trying to kill you, the medical procedure that a lot of us didn't want to take. I'm going to try to stay under the radar. So I don't want to get her shut down. She's been shut down too many times. Okay. You got airplanes.
No, you can say whatever you want. I mean, I don't mince words here. And
okay.
This is live over my YouTube channel. That's like a remnant that I don't know, vitalized or something. And they let it be for the time being, probably because I have such a low number of people subscribed, because it's 6 months old or whatever. Nobody knew about it. But the thing is that I don't know, at this point, all my videos go on to Rumble. That's where I have, my permanent presence, and also my website, and also Odyssey, which picked up my large channel that had 70 million viewers worldwide back in the day, right before when COVID came out. So they actually, they demonetized me a year when in March of 2020, and then in March of 2021 they actually knocked my entire channel off the air. I'd been with YouTube since the beginning. I was a creator director, and just unbelievable. And the reason they knocked me off supposedly was one sentence in the middle of an interview with Robert David Seal. You may remember him. So
yes.
Yeah, and I had a premonition that night. I put it into unlisted, that particular video, and it didn't help. They still knocked me off. So
wow.
So I was a targeted channel, and they were ready to get rid of me, and they did. But now I'm back. I used another email address that they didn't recognize, and somehow they're just allowing me to be. So I don't care. They want to delete my channel tomorrow. I think they're going to get sued. I think they're trying to clean up their act. They're being a little low key right now with the censorship and stuff. But anyway, so that's that story. Listen, Mel, it's really fun. I listened to your interview with Juan O Savin. And kudos to you for actually bringing up my side of the story. And challenging him a bit there. That I thought that was really sort of gutsy of you, and I appreciated that. Yeah. You kind of threw him for a loop, I think, and freaked him out a little. But that was all cool. And so he's going to be speaking at your conference. You've got a number of speakers. Correct. So why don't we run down? Can we talk about that? Because I think a lot of people want to know who's going to be there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the players have changed because, life gets in the way. And I didn't expect that, 3.5 months ago when I decided to, put this whole thing together, that the speakers that said yes 3.5 months ago, not a lot of them, but a few of them, a handful of them can't make it because life gets in the way. So we still have some amazing speakers. We have Ishmael Perez, we got Michael Jaco, we got Louis Hearns, we got Jimmy Valley, who wrote a letter to the Federal Reserve of the United States of America, said, listen, you don't really have much of a choice. You got to buy back the XRP. He's going to be there. He's going to talk about Nisara Jasara. He's got a 10th degree black belt on this stuff. You got Black Swan, Versan from Black Swan Capital is going to be there. You got Mickle Markets. You got Patrick Riley, the CEO of Reaper Financial. You got yours truly, 107. You got food gurus like Jim Gale from foodforestabundance.com. You got Ian Farrar, who's my personal.
He's real good, that guy.
We got you. You're there. Okay. You're amazing. I mean, if you haven't seen her work 20 years ago, 18 years ago, when I first met her, I never thought I'd be doing what she's doing. I'm like, I was just talking to her off camera before she actually hit the record button. This business of it's crazy. But she goes, which one are you talking about? I said, the one you're in, the one, you're behind the camera and talking to people. She goes, oh, yeah. I'm like, I don't know how the hell you did it for 20 years, So we got some of the who's who of the who's who. We got XRP 007 going to be there. My good friend Larry Ballard, who's going to become my co-host maybe 1 or 2 days a week, okay, is going to be down there. We're talking about bringing Heather Holmes, who uses products that are much cheaper, but I mean much cheaper than your Formula 409. The reason why they call it Formula 409 because they got 409 ways to kill you. That's how toxic that stuff is. You shouldn't have it underneath your sink or anywhere near your kids. We're talking about taking a little cap full of something and turning it into a liter that's purely organic that will clean your surfaces and your toilets and your bathrooms and all of that much better than this cabal poison in a bottle. Okay. And you don't have to risk the chance of, getting sick or getting cancer, because that's what all that stuff is all designed to do, So we have opened up the healing center. I wish we could have done it in the healing center. I wish my healing center was 8,000 square feet that we could put everybody in between the machines. So you could feel like you're literally got abducted by one of these spacecrafts, because the same technology that permeates inside our room is exactly the same technology. If you were to get sucked up by one of these crafts, scalar biophotonic scalar energy technology. That's what it is. And, look, we've had some of the most incredible healing stories that you could possibly think of. My good friend Rhonda, who lives up in, I can't think of the name of the town. It's like 2 towns over, not that far, maybe 25 miles up the road. It'll come to me. But Rhonda had stage 4 lymphoma. Stage 4 lymphoma. She couldn't walk to the bathroom. She didn't have a lot of money. So we made a deal with her because I have a soft heart. It's not about the money for me, believe me. Okay. So I had to let people stay there free of charge that will literally take her to the bathroom. 2 weeks later, this lady would go to the bathrooms unassisted. We have the videos of her with the testimonial. It's a 5-minute testimonial. If you go to YouTube, I think it's Staying Alive Healing Center, something like that. You'll find it.
Okay, so I'm showing your conference right here. I think you can see it. I'm trying to get to the page where it actually talks about the conference. So it's June 8th and 9th, right? Correct. And it's 10 to 5 Saturday and Sunday in Cape Canaveral, Florida. And you're also are you doing a live stream? Is that what's happening?
Correct. We're doing a live stream. Live stream tickets went on sale yesterday. They're available right now. Okay. Based on what happens with this Trump thing, I think the live stream tickets are going to go literally berserk, specifically because you're going to be there. You have a lot of knowledge on what's happening, in the ecosphere of this political crazy world that we live in. And so does Juan O Savin, and so does Lloyd Brunson, who'll be there, by the way. Lloyd Brunson, the guy who put the case.
Okay, it looks like you got Jan Halper Hayes, there. So you got a great lineup here. Some very interesting people, and that should be fun for people to meet in person. I do a conference once a year out in England because I've got an arrangement there. It's you may know now, or maybe you've always known, that conferences are very expensive to put on. People don't realize.
Outrageous.
It's just the bills and the cost is just insane, right?
Yeah. Yeah, people think you're doing this to make money. No. Believe me, if I break even on this thing, I will be very, very happy. Okay.
Yeah. It's a real challenge, but I think you're probably, in the end, you're gonna do very well. So just saying for people that, it's worth the money to come and meet people and hang out. So you've got a relatively small venue. It's not that small, right? Allow 500 people. Is that?
Yeah, we could fit 500 people. We have a couple of hundred already sold, several hundred already sold.
Okay.
I expect that there's going to be a lot of people that walk in that don't have a ticket. They will say, yes, we have an extra 25 chairs. So I've allowed myself to put, all of these potentialities that can happen. So I got an extra 25 chairs for the people who might just walk in without a ticket. Say, hey, listen, I want a ticket. I want to buy a ticket right here at the counter. Boom, done. End the story.
Right.
So,
and some of our colleagues even live in the area. They live in at least Florida. So it's maybe going to be not so hard for them to get there. So it'll be a fun weekend. And what else is going on with you, because you're really into this XRP thing. And I don't, do you want to give a short summary about that for people that maybe aren't really familiar with XRP and what's happening there?
Yes, 100%. Yes. This all happened with Bitcoin. And I got to tell the story for your new audience, because you're always getting new people listening to you, et cetera. And so it's important that people understand how this all started. And so back in 2008, a guy by the name of David Schwartz, who is now the CTO, Chief Technology Officer of Ripple XRP, he puts a patent on blockchain technology. And what happened was the fact that we're still on dial-up and blockchain technology, we had to wait for the internet to sort of mature so that it catches up. He's one of the most impressive, programmers in the history of the world. Because he was basically daunted with the task of creating the next monetary system. So the guys upstairs, the Galactics, they gave him a download. I think this is pure speculation, hyperbole on my part, but I believe I'm so right that it's so highly plausible that it almost makes it factual, if that makes any sense. So 2007, 2008, what happens? The housing bubble. Where's David Schwartz working at this point? Where he's working for one of those 3-letter agencies. Okay. And these guys probably must have went to him and said, listen, son, we are in a lot of trouble and you're the only one that can fix all of this. So with that, they gave him a download called Bitcoin. Bitcoin doesn't work till today. It doesn't work. The Lightning Network doesn't work. Thousands of programming teams all over the world trying to develop the Lightning Network. It still doesn't work. It is an object failure. It's a disaster. So they came up with another sales pitch. It's a store of value. Well, let me tell you something. A store of value that has no utility really has no value. Your gold and your silver, correct? If you have gold and silver, the technology we're talking on right now, Kerry, has gold and silver in it. This conversation cannot take place without gold and silver in your computer and in my computer. Mm-hmm. Okay. So that has a utility. It solves a problem. What does Bitcoin do? It's based on what? The fact that we all believe it's worth a bunch of money and a lot of people investing in it. What happens if tomorrow they decide that everybody wants to call in on their Bitcoin when it hits 100,000, for example, and everybody wants, boom, at the same time? No usability, no functionality. It doesn't solve a problem. And there it goes to zero. The XRP, however, because see, they allowed Schwartz to make the mistakes. Who he is Satoshi Nakamoto. There's a video that's going around millions, tens of millions of views, right? That I literally cornered him at the XRP convention. I told him, I said, you are Satoshi Nakamoto. Well, the end of that interview, so that this doesn't get too long-winded, was like, yeah, there's a possibility that I am Satoshi Nakamoto. That's what he says to me. So anyway, that video got ripped and it got circulated. I got no credit for it. My channel should have jumped by 100,000 subscribers. It didn't do that. And that's okay. I'm not bitter. But the reality is, so you have this guy, he invents this Bitcoin. Bitcoin doesn't work. Who's the only guy that can go back and fix Bitcoin? Satoshi Nakamoto, AKA David Schwartz. David Schwartz goes to work. Boom, puts together the XRP. The XRP is scalable to 3.5 trillion transactions per second. It's going to move all the money on Earth. We're talking about banking Africa, India, and Southeast Asia by a factor of 95%. The people there are unbanked. They're about to become banked through the XRP system, not through the Ethereum system, and not through the Bitcoin system. They're going to be banked through the ISO tokens. Look it up. Okay. And if you don't own some, you better do it fast because this window of opportunity is closing. We're giving you a lottery ticket. What you do with that lottery ticket is entirely up to you. Okay.
Okay. Wait a second. Slow down because, okay. What are you talking about? ISO tokens all of a sudden? What's
the ISO tokens are the ones that are going to be compliant with whatever financial institutions survive. And they are all going to be backed by gold and silver. Remember Donald Trump saying we need a level.
These are not associated with XRP, are they?
The ISO, XRP is one of the ISOs. There's about 7 or 8 tokens. HBAR, XDC, XLM. They're all part of the ISO family. Yes. Okay.
So there's an XRP coin now.
Yes, the XRP token is also, we're going to have a stable coin now that's going to compete in the marketplace, which is a beautiful thing. But I don't want to get off track and confuse your people. But if you go in to Google and put in ISO tokens, you're going to get a list of about 7 or 8 tokens. Those are the ones you need to focus on. And this is my personal belief, I could be wrong. It could be XLM or it could be XDC, the big King Kong, but we don't think so. We have reason to believe it's going to be XRP. That's why it's got the lawsuit. That's why we're in XR. The XRP has a part 2 lawsuit now with the SEC. It's because that's the one they don't want you to own. That's the one that they're moving heaven and earth to make sure that if they could figure out a way to knock it down to 20 cents, I would rejoice because I would go buy some more and I would own more. And when it happens, or when it's supposed to happen, it will happen. So the bottom line becomes this: you got to do your own homework. We're not financial advisors. You have to be crazy to follow an ex-pizzeria impresario on giving financial advice. But I've been at this for 9 years, my wife and I. I think we have a pretty good handle of what this is and where it's going. We've teaching hundreds of thousands of people. We have a specific website that if you go there, it's called QFS 1776. I love that number, QFS1776.com. If you go there and you watch our videos, and you might have to, watch 2 weeks worth of videos, but we put them in a chronological elementary order so that the average person that has an average IQ can understand this stuff. Okay. See where it says XRP QFS videos? You click that. There's about 32 videos there or something like that. And there's other videos on other parts of the website. You need to consume this stuff because we're going into this new digital age, this new monetary system. You cannot opt out of this. It's over. The central bank digital currency have lost. They already signed it into law with Congress. The central bank digital currency will never see the light of day. I've been saying that for at least 3 years. Now everybody's saying, hey, Mel, you were right. Yes, of course I was right, because I could see the writing on the wall. I have a peripheral vision, and I could see the future based on the fact that I'm doing my homework, the fact that I'm surrounding myself with a bunch of people that are doing their homework. See, I lost the opportunity to invest in Yahoo, in Google, in Amazon, all of these great companies, Apple, IBM, Dell Computers. I didn't invest in any of those. Had you invested $10,000 day one into Amazon, you would be a gazillionaire. You'd be worth $100 million easily right now. $10,000. Right. I'm here to tell you that there's going to be a buyback of XRP that is going to be conservatively. Again, this is speculation on my part, because they need to move all of the money on earth. And you need to understand what that money, all the money means when we graduate into this Nasara and Jasara, where it's going to be a flat tax system that is fair for everybody, and nobody can get away from paying it, because it doesn't matter who you're connected to. Okay. You have to pay your flat tax. Everybody. There's no loopholes no more. And with this system, there's going to be a lot more money in the cash register at the end of the day. So you have to really do your homework, because this system is knocking on the door. It's coming hard. Look, I understand you need a lot of brain power, and you do. And you need to study, and you do. But you don't really have much of a choice. So if you have a family and kids, and you know that there's a new system, and I'm telling you, it's coming. It is coming.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate that. And, sure. I've done a lot of shows on the QFS, Quantum Financial System, which is theoretically a white hat operation, and interviewed a guy named Paladin really years ago now. So I did a number of interviews with him. He's a forensic financial investigator, and certainly knows his stuff and along those lines, and has been helping out behind the scenes with the white hats. So I think that's, a good stamp of approval, at least on the QFS idea. What we don't know is what's going on right now and why it's being held up, other than they're trying to get the election through the gates and all these games that are being played right now. And one of which is, of course, Trump, supposedly being, run through the court system and potentially locked down, et cetera. This is a dog and pony show. Now, for people that want to know what I think about things, if you're not subscribing and looking at my Telegram, really daily, then you're missing out on what I think about things, because I post there comments on just about everything whenever I move to do so. And sometimes that happens at 3 a.m. because I actually work in the middle of the night, which is why when you called me at 10 a.m., Mel, I was barely awake because I was having my second sleep because I was up last night, I was up, I don't know, from 1 o'clock in the morning until 6 a.m. because I get galvanized at night. I don't know why, but I something about the quiet and everything, and I can really think clearly and I can do my work. And sometimes I get really into a groove. So I forget. And then it's daylight suddenly, and then I haven't had any sleep. So then I try to catch a few hours. Anyway, that's kind of my pattern. But I want to say that we are entering a very interesting time where a lot of the things that the Q drops and everything talked about are starting to roll out. And if you don't also, because I have posted so much stuff about all of that and articles, and I also have a Substack now, and my website has all the social media and stuff and links that I have various channels all over the place. I've got tons of stuff, video, interviews. I interview other people, blah, blah, blah. So this is where you want to know, people are going to want to know, both of us. Okay, Mel, I'm sure they want to hear your opinion on what's happening with Trump, on the situation with this game that's being played. I will say that I also posted on my website, and I think I might be able to bring it up here, but why don't you address your thoughts on it, Mel? As far as I'm concerned, Trump is the president and CIC. Technically, he can't even be tried for these kinds of petty crimes, which are not really crimes at all. And it's been proven. And he did a great speech, by the way. I guess it was this morning at Trump Tower. So if you missed that speech, I think I did link it on my Telegram. I try to pick up news everywhere and link it on my Telegram. Then I make comments. Some of it I don't agree with. Some of it is insane. And so on. But, I got about 94,000 people over there. So I think I'm doing something right. But I love it. I think Telegram is a great operation because you can, it's like, for me, it's like a library that I keep, at hand with everything that's happening. And then I can go back over time. It's like a timeline and see, what was I thinking? What was I saying back then? What were other people thinking and saying? So I think it's a very helpful thing to get, hip to, which is, again, my Telegram channel and others as well.
Absolutely. So let me answer one first. The one I want to answer first is the XRP and the QFS and the holdup. And then I'm going to go into the Trump.
All right.
The XRP will run the QFS. And this is the reason why the holdup. It's very simple. It's a very simple equation. The XRP, again, will run the quantum financial system when it's fully unleashed and they allow the 90,000-pound gorilla to come out of the cage to do what it was programmed to do. It's going to wreak havoc in a good way, because a lot of people are going to get wealthy very, very quickly. And a lot of people that understand how this game is played, who are positioned right now, and understand how the money game is going to work in this new world that we're graduating into, because you don't want to just, become a lottery story where you inherit $50 million or $200 million and you squander it because you don't understand how money works and just start handing out money to any bozo that says, I need 100,000. I need a house. I need a car. People need all the time. Okay. So the quantum financial system, the quantum computers that run the quantum financial system, these computers are where? One is in Reno, one is in Reno, Nevada, one is in Dubai, and the other one is in Spain. And they're connected to what? These satellites, that keep launching into outer space still, because some of them fell out of the sky here in Cape Canaveral. Okay. They're launched right here, about 10 miles from where I live. And so they're constantly, we're not exactly there yet. Plus we have to get the commander-in-chief. He's always been the commander-in-chief. We know that we're in a movie. This is kabuki theater on steroids. This guy who scratches his neck, that's the white hats, basically. Let's make his mask wrinkle so that we can put a little breadcrumb out there, see if these guys catch on. Or he falls down the stairs of going up to his airplane, and the guy that's 78 years old gets up in 1.26 seconds. Give me a break. I can't get up that fast, and I'm in better shape than this dude. Right? So they're sending you a breadcrumb. It's somebody either playing him, or it's a robot, or it's a clone. It don't matter. It's definitely not him. Right?
Oh, well, he's an actor. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So Trump, I think this opens up the biggest can of worms. I talked to my good friend now, Tom Palermo, from his publication here. I mentioned it early, Space Coast Daily. And Tom said they just effed themselves big time. He said that to me last night around midnight. I said, I agree. I said, are you on the same page? Are you trying to say what I basically say, now we're good. It was good for the goose is for the gander. I don't believe there's going to be they're going to convict him. There's going to be a sentencing on July 11th. You got to be crazy to believe that. Like you said earlier, Kerry, you cannot prosecute a sitting president. That's what he is, as far as a lot of us concerned.
Right.
I think
well, I will say,
I
appreciate that. I have to say that I think that we're really watching the White Hat show. How far they're going to take it, I don't know. I was just discussing this with someone else, but I do want to draw people's attention. I've got my website up here, and I've got the article. The first article is about Trump, and there's a couple articles associated with it. If you click on that article, you'll see. I don't know if I can scroll through here right now, because this is getting a little confusing. I got too many windows open. But anyway, what I was trying to say here is that, first of all, Joan of Arc, apparently he was May 30th is actually the day she was burned at the stake. So she is the people's savior from, Joan of Arc, France, and so on. So it's interesting timing. We've got some interesting dates. I think July 11th also is another date that's got a background to it. So just to be aware of that, they're always playing with these dates. Both sides are playing these games. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, are you familiar with the real chief of police?
The real chief of police? No.
Yeah, he was the chief of police for Colorado for many, many years, and he became a patriot. His story is on his website, which is here. I've got it linked, and he's got an article out. It's buymeacoffee.com/truther, and then this is the article. So I'll just click over there. But you have to be a member to actually get the article. But he sends out a newsletter, and the newsletter is like free information as far as I'm concerned. So it's like a summary. So here he's talking to you about what's going on, and that this is a show. And then we've got Ricardo Bossi, who is a wonderful patriot. He's an Australian military guy, and he is talking in depth about the White Hats, who the White Hats are, where they came from, and what kind of operation they've got going on. So I draw people's attention to these things because people don't realize that everything that's happening has a background, has a history, and it's being operational now. So, and has been for the last 4 or 5, actually going back now, 2016, before that, but it didn't become Q. I forget when Q actually hit the boards to where people were, because I was dealing with the White Hats before Q. So for me, that timeline is a little different, but bottom line, it goes back to the Kennedy assassination. We're talking about a group of military, ex-military agency people, law enforcement worldwide that band together, realizing that our planet was under siege by the what's called the Luciferian cabal, which is in essence a satanic organization. It's infiltrated the Vatican. It's infiltrated CIA. It's everywhere. It's infiltrated the English government, the UK, you name it. And so Putin was one of the few people they couldn't quite get on board, but there are some things he seems to have gone on board with, and others he has not. So this is where I'm just saying there is a history behind all of the things that are happening to Trump right now.
Oh yeah,
this is also set up.
Yeah, this war's been going on since President Kennedy.
And before. So this is what we're talking. So so you understand this. You understand it's a show, right?
Oh, absolutely.
But there is some discrepancy. Can you maybe clarify this? Because I think it's kind of interesting.
Sure.
You know, Juan O Savin does not agree with your summary of Jassara Nassara,
I
right?
understand that. He also didn't agree with XRP. Today he owns XRP. I promise you, within 6 months, I will arm wrestle him a few more times and put your money on the X Pizza guy. Okay, I'm going to make sure that that 107 in 5 or 6 months he's going to be he's going to be singing the
All right. Well, does he own
Jassara song.
XRP because his current partner Jen had some, or because he bought it himself?
He bought it himself.
All right, fair
He
enough.
owns some.
All right. All right. Well, you know, I'm just asking. So, do you want to tell people why? What's his hesitancy? Do you even understand what's going on there, or do you not want to go down that road?
It is such a complicated movie that even if I understood it and I would explain it in the way that I understand it, that doesn't necessarily mean that the other people will understand it. And it's a can of worms that I don't know if it's even worth wasting
All right.
energy on.
Well, I
But
think sometimes people would like to hear what,
Yeah, no,
you know, someone
but
like
I
you,
could try
you've
to
had
keep
him
it.
on your show.
Yeah, I could try to keep it very basic. Yeah, I've had him on my show many times, and he doesn't think that Nassara and Jassara is going to happen in the way that we think. So he's
No,
basically, in
well,
one
I
way,
happen to agree
agreeing.
with him on that, but
Yeah, he's
whatever.
basically agreeing that, and I'm not completely totally on board with everything they talk about. That because when you're born in the United States, they fingerprint your feet, they take your social security number, they trade you, and yes, technically speaking, and we have had people that are very, very smart. I'm talking military people that happen to be good friends of mine, okay, that have gone down that rabbit hole. I'm talking about rabbit holes where most of you would need to have a pressurized suits because your body parts will malfunction, okay, will not be able to last. And they literally have gotten to the answers, and they would call that department 2 weeks later, only to know that that department that they got to was completely shut down because the answers that they got to were conclusive. Okay. So technically speaking, yes, we're all billionaires, but they're not going to just give us all the money. You know why? Because we're not exactly at the point where we could become a utopia, and we haven't gotten to that part of the graduation yet. And for them to just give us all that money, and we don't necessarily have the technology to be able to run it efficiently because we haven't been trained to run it efficiently. The artificial intelligence that's going to take over all of the jobs, they have to slow it down and bring it out in increments, if that makes any sense. Maybe over a
Okay.
period of
Well,
8 years, 10 years, 12 years.
I have a whole sort of a litany of theories and analysis based on all the whistleblower testimony I've gotten over 20 years time. So I, have to say that my interpretation of all of that might be a little bit different than yours, but that's what makes good ball games or whatever. We have competition, we have different viewpoints, and it's still worthwhile to hear everybody's thoughts. So in terms of, I know you said a lot there, but I don't think you really addressed the actual questions. So
well,
here's the thing. You don't actually know. Wait,
Yes.
You don't know what Juan's exact problem is with.
Mm-hmm.
You say he's gone along with XRP. Maybe he's just hedging his bets right now. Who knows? And I don't know how much. A lot of times it's how much. Are you like me and you have $20 worth? Because that kind of thing. Or, because really, I'm serious. I might be lucky if I had $20 worth.
Okay.
Because I'm not a big investor. First of all, I've never had a lot of money to invest, period. But, it's not on top of my list. But I'm open to it. I'm not closed to the whole idea. So I need to learn a lot more about it myself. So I am asking you again, but it's not so much XRP that we're discussing here with Juan. It's actually Nassara Jassara. And so do you know is there a crucial area? Because I know Juan's stuff really well. And I might be able to answer the question myself, but I was wondering if you want to take a stab at it.
Let's do it. Let's do this. When I set out to prove something, I sometimes, even though I'm from Brooklyn, sometimes I'm from Missouri. You got to show me, right? So I put out out into the ether of the world, being that I'm a podcaster, that I want to start interviewing people who have mortgage debt forgiveness, car loan forgiveness, student loan forgiveness, and so on.
Right.
And this is all documented. It lives on my Rumble channel. It lives on my YouTube channels. These videos are real. I've had at least 11 or 12, stories that have come at me that are in that realm of debt forgiveness with documentation, not bullshit.
Well, I'm
Real
sure
stuff.
there's lots of people out there would really like to be part of that group, but I don't think they are.
Okay,
So
but
you
here's
want to
where,
explain that?
sure, absolutely. And I don't know why certain people are getting forgiven and some people are not, but I can tell you it's a lot bigger than you can imagine because one, there are comments down below that sound to me very truthful. Say, I will never come on your show because I'm camera shy or I want to stay under the radar. Those are
Okay.
valid excuses in my book. So, but I've had also debt forgiveness. You have no idea. You go to watch my videos, you'll see them right underneath the comments are endless. Okay. Of people who literally have had student loans. These are not people that are on my show. They watched the video, they made a comment. Yes, I've had also student loan forgiveness. Yes, I've
Okay,
had
but
also.
is that a con job? Because if I remember, Juan also thinks that the whole Nasara Jasara thing is I don't know if it's a DARPA invention or what the fuck it is, but it's basically not, on the up and up. And I do think there's a lot of BS part of it. Now, there may be some aspects of it that do happen that I may not have anything to do with it. You know what I'm saying? And
a flat tax has been taught. Yeah,
could be part of it on some level. But sure. I also know that, it's one of those things where you got to be more egalitarian. In other words, if everyone doesn't get it, then, who cares if a few choice people get it? That doesn't really float my boat. You know what I'm saying? I might be happy for them, but I know that, it didn't happen. It didn't happen to me. Okay. And I know that, I had to pay my mortgage no matter what, and nobody forgave me on that either. Now, so I'm just saying that, you can talk the one side, but we can also talk the other side. Now there's other things going on. I think this is what I appreciate about you, Mel. It's that you are dedicated to a new way of doing things. You're dedicated to this new rollout of a new financial approach. And I think that's very gutsy of you. I think it's, you really put yourself, all the way behind it, right? You put your channel behind it. You put everything you're doing behind it. You really believe in what you're doing. And you did educate yourself as well. So that's on your side. However, I don't think we ever had this discussion before, so I'm going to bring this up. Did you ever hear about the right to issue?
The right to issue what?
Money.
Money? To who?
Yeah, if you don't know the phrase, the right to issue, then you haven't heard of it. Okay,
I haven't heard of it. I know we don't. No one man, no one woman is an island. We don't know everything about everything.
No. But I'm just,
I never heard of it. Yeah.
I know this is not your normal interview, everyone. Yes. This is a conversation. I do conversations much more than I just do, pepper someone with questions, especially someone I know.
Educate me on
I know you. I know you for so many years, right? Behind the scenes, Mel.
Yes.
You contacted me way a long time ago. And
14 years ago.
So I can say, with you, listen, Mel, there's something called the right to issue. Now I have top, and I mean super top level financial advisors. And I don't even know where they came from, why they came to me. Some of them are what I call defectors from the Illuminati, right? They know the game behind the scenes. They know who holds the reins and a lot of that stuff that it doesn't seem like you really even take the time to address. Now, being a Sicilian, you probably are very street smart and maybe you're not supposed to go into certain places. But I can tell you that one of my top people, he was what you call a market maker back in the day, so an older person. But he says that if you don't own the right to issue, the whole question about changing the monetary system, getting it to right itself and to go for the people as opposed to against the people the way it is absolutely out of your wheelhouse. And we we don't know what's going to happen with this. Okay. It involves what are called, the Illuminati families from Basel, Switzerland. The Committee of 300 is John Coleman's book. Maybe you read it. I read it back in the day. Brilliant book. Exposed a lot of this. David Icke picked up on it. A lot of people have picked up on it since then. He was definitely right. I just did a show with James Grundvig and Alexandra Bruce, in which she's talking about what are called the Black nobility. That's a reference to these families. But in essence, they're not giving up their right to control the monetary system. So what we have right now is some kind of interim, because we are in a transition going from one sort of type of system, meaning digital and non-digital, right? So we are going across that Rubicon, but who's going to control the digital system? Likely it's going to be the same families that are running right now the stock market. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And Bitcoin, by the way. And I just I'm going to bring this other thing up, which I just did a bunch of investigation on what is called the tracers. And there's a book out there. It's called Tracers, and it's all about how Bitcoin can be traced right back to you. That people thought it was anonymous, no fucking way. That blockchain is traceable, and that gets back into the vote, which the white hats at this point never bring up, but they use the NSA to track the vote in 2020, which is how they know that Trump won, and how the military felt completely comfortable making sure that he was a CIC and not some Obama clone actor, whatever, because Obama is dead. And indeed, Derek Johnson is right. That was a funeral. So my point to you is this stuff that I'm talking about, are you at all aware of any of that? And what is your answer to it?
Well, the right to issue, I think basically what you're saying, if I'm reading it correctly, is that it's the right to issue and to keep the cabal in power, and the little people will still have to continue to lose. I'm on the other side. I'm on the side of making sure that the little people don't lose. By the way, before I forget, Pascal says hello. I just did a podcast with him before I got on with you. He loves you, by the way. Okay.
All right. Well, yeah, I'm just finding out that he's coming on my show in a few days, so I'm very happy about that. But
yeah,
the right to issue has to do with the right to issue money and how money works.
Well, who doesn't
so
get
that's
issued
what
to?
we're talking about.
It doesn't get issued to the little people. It gets issued to
but I go into the off-world background behind this. Behind those so-called royal families, bloodlines, blah, blah, blah.
The royal families does not exist.
The ETs.
Yeah.
Okay,
the royal
families.
ETs. The royal families, all these evil bastards who have done whatever they wanted to do with the kids down below, etc. Right. They will not be able to exist. And look, light cannot exist with darkness. It's either light's got to win or the darkness has got to win.
That could go on another million years.
I don't believe so. I think that the beginning of the movie actually started on the 34 counts of guilty. The movie starts yesterday. Now it's going to be very interesting to watch. I tell everybody, keep your cool, keep your sanity. Yes, have your 3.5 months worth of food, have your bullets, have your guns, have some booze that you can barter with, have your cigarettes that you can barter with, because people do stupid shit when they feel they need to drink. You might not drink, but you have the booze, and somebody wants that booze, that's worth bartering for something of value, maybe one of their cows or one of their pigs or whatever. Okay. So I don't think we're going to get there, but it's always better to be ready and not have to use it and then just give it away. But to answer your question, there are two sides here. There's two factions. It's very clear. It's the bad people against the good people. There's more good people than bad people. We're winning by a lot. They're losing by a lot. They're running for their lives. We're not running for our lives. We're keeping up the pressure. We got the enemy down begging for their fucking life, and we're going to stomp their fucking brains into the goddamn sidewalk.
All right. Well, that's your point of view. I can say that this is still, this is still a two-sided game. We have not crossed over completely, and so this is going to be, it will play out the way it plays out. We're going to see.
Trump has to get back. In my opinion, again, I could be wrong, but I think you might agree with something I'm here. I think it has to be announced with military people, a different personnel, but it has to be announced through the proper channels. And as much as I hate to admit it, even though you have built an empire of people following you and they've taken that empire down because we're not in charge, they are. Okay. They've taken your empire down several times. You rebuilt it because you're a tough cookie. Okay. The reality is the news has to come through CNN. Maybe might be different people sitting in the chairs telling you different news for the very first time, but that's the only way we wake up the masses because it's acceptable. It came through the communist news network. It came through ABC, always broadcasting crap. It came through MSNBC. Okay. All the acronyms, all the bullshit. Okay. It's got to come from our people, military people sitting in those chairs, not CIA, Mockingbird, scumbags, okay? And they're going to tell us the truth about everything, and they might tell you to sit down and take some notes and get your popcorn ready because it's getting ready to happen. Pascal knows a lot about that, and him and I are in agreement. Also, I have to make an announcement. Mark Z from Puerto Rico, Mark Z, the guru on dinars and Zims and all that stuff, is going to be speaking on stage. He's not yet part of the, I got to tell Amber to put his picture up. Mark Z, I'm sure you know who Mark Z is.
No.
You don't? Oh, he's got like
I don't follow a lot of the, I'm not really I'm learning. Okay. I'm trying to learn, but I admit freely, I just happen to have some top level financial sources, but
sure,
I am not a financial person. I'm very bad with numbers and money.
Yeah. So what happened was, because I'm put myself in this curious position of trying to be a rock star, which I told my wife, you know what, if we're going to be popular, let's get popular, baby. I got a plan that's going to, make me maybe millions of people follow me down the road. And I believe I will achieve that plan. However, because I'm a little bit of an asshole and I get all these stories coming at me and all these cute stories of somebody walking into the bank, asking some questions about the dinars and the Zims and the bolivars and the dongs and all this monetary system that is supposed to revalue. I want to take your crowd back to the beginning of time, okay? Because I'm sure that a lot of your people don't know this. This reevaluation happened once before. How it happened is very simple. I'm going to give you the short and skinny version of the story. Kuwait decided to drill on their side of the fence, and they tapped into a huge oil well, okay? Only one problem. That vein of oil stretched into underneath the border of who? Iraq. Right. And that was a problem. So we had a penis contest immediately. So what did we do? The antagonizers that we are, and we have a PhD, a public high school diploma, and antagonizing countries and pitting them against each other so that they can have a penis fight. Because you notice all the bullets, they're all in the shape of penises. They're not in shape of vaginas. All the missiles, everything is penises, right? So that's why I call it a penis fight. So they allowed that war to go on, knowing what? That the monetary system in Kuwait was going to do what? Devalue. And when it devalued to pennies. You could buy a shitload of Kuwaiti dinars for pennies. Only thing is, they kept it hush hush. It was only the elite group. Not one person like us, not one deplorable got their hands on that opportunity. It was an opportunity. They knew it was going to create an opportunity. They did it deliberately. It was intentional. It was by design. Okay.
Sure.
Allowed the war to happen. The money devalued. They moved in swiftly in the middle of darkness like a bunch of thieves. They bought up all the Kuwaiti dinars on the cheap. And then the war was over. And what happened? Boom. You go look it up. One Kuwaiti dinar is $3.30. It could be $3.29 or $3.31, but it's right about there. Okay. $3.30 for each dinar that you were able to buy for pennies because it was like 0.000 something. You could have bought a shitload because they're in the middle, the heart of the war. And they knocked that currency down.
I know. But the trouble is, again, you actually are talking about kind of the coming from the outside in.
Yes.
And basically, I'm coming from the inside out when I'm doing my analysis here. And I'm saying that, the two may meet, but it might not be in the middle. And this is our problem. It's an ongoing problem. Right. And I appreciate your,
but we have your sort of all the aspects
energy and your belief again, and your devotion to these ideas. But the bottom line,
Yeah,
is
because
we
a
are
lot of
where we
people.
are.
Yeah.
Okay. We are where we are at the moment. And I do think that we're going to have change. I agree. Change is coming. And I do think the white hats are very good at trying to turn this ship around.
They are.
And I know that Trump is, not only is he in office, he's going to be like the winner. He's the winner. I can tell you that the Illuminati, even the World Economic Forum, agrees that Trump is already won. He's basically, they admit, they know who they're dealing with. Okay.
So
and
let me finish the story.
Even the Biden story right now, which is the Biden show, is arguably run by the white hats. Okay. I think push is going to come to shove eventually with that story as well, though, because you have to understand that the white hats are treading a very fine line. And along that line has to do with responsibility, being responsible, not just because you're fighting the dark side, but because you're also helping the dark side, allowing the dark side to do some of their demented deeds. And people are dying on their watch. Now, we may forgive them in the long run. The pluses may outweigh the minuses in that story, but we can't be in denial over it. That's all. I'm just, for all intents and purposes, we have to be realists.
Yeah. But we are. But this as fast as, like I said, everybody wants it to happen. It's never going to happen fast. I knew that going in. I didn't expect that I was going to go in 9 years ago, and 9 days later, or even 90 days later, that I was going to become a billionaire. I'd be foolish to think that. This is not a get rich quick scheme, and I'm ready, willing, and able and prepared. If they said it's going to drag on another 9 years on top of my first 9 years and make it 18, I'm here to stay. I'm here to collect. But I got to tell you the story for whatever it's worth, because I hear all these stories of people going into the bank and they get all these funny, fuzzy stories. So I had to see for myself, because I'm an asshole. I like to ask questions. So I went into the Wells Fargo myself, and I said to the teller, "Hey, what's going on with these Zims and dinars? Are we ready to, cash them in, whatever?" And she looked at me like I had 9 heads. But there was a lady in the middle of the room, a manager, a wealth manager, that she was literally talking to a very wealthy lady. You could tell wealthy people, they have a certain aura about them. But anyway, she's talking to this lady, and her neck went up like this, and it moved like towards me with ears just like, moved towards me. She said, "We're not ready yet." I said, "That's good news." Exact words, verbatim. "We're not ready yet." I said, "Well, that's good news." I said, "Because that means at some point you have to be ready." Now, when are we going to be ready? Obviously, Mr. T has to be announced through the CNN system, through the ABC system, through the CBS system, through whatever system, with our people, so that the average person out there says, "Oh, okay, he's back." Okay. And life will continue into something, morphosize into something new. And the lady, who was a wealthy lady sitting across, I gave her the Kuwaiti story exactly the way I just told it to your audience. And I guarantee you, she went home, and I guarantee you, whoever that lady is, I'd be willing to bet dollars to donuts, that lady owns some Iraqi dinars and some Zims today.
Okay. We'll see. Some of my Illuminati financial contacts are saying it's never going to happen, but look, I actually own, I don't know what happened to him, but again, cause I'm like kind of ditzy when it comes to money, but the bottom line is, I am part of a dinar group, that I joined a long, long time ago, because, a good friend who does know money encouraged me to do so, but God knows if it's ever going to see the light of day. We'll see. Yeah. All right. I'm going to let you go, Mel. I wanted to keep this short and sweet.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You coming on the show and giving your pizzazz and your point of view on everything. Let's see. So it's okay. Let's encourage people to come down to Florida and, and be part of the group, that we're doing this conference. And I'm going to be hitting hard with my particular topic. And, I hope that, everyone will be there. And, I haven't even seen the schedule, so I don't even know when I'm speaking, but I guess we'll figure it out. And, and thank you again.
You have a copy of that. It's in the Google Docs that Molly Elmore put together. If you want, I could shoot that over to you, and this way
No,
you'll be able to see the schedule.
I don't know what that is, but anyway, so thank you again for coming on the show. Any parting words that you'd like to give the audience?
No, other than, just keep your head on a swivel, stay in positive cash flow, stay in fairly good health. Join a 24-hour gym if you don't have time like myself. Go sweat your what off in a sauna at 100, 220 degrees like I do. Work out a little bit. It keeps the endorphins alive and well. You don't want to give the enemy, even though they're moving heaven and earth to try and kill us all, by all means necessary. And according to Pascal, 1 billion people are dead. I don't know. Nobody really knows. I do know that
Yes.
we've had videos of, funeral parlor calling another funeral parlor, and they were all asking each other to take some bodies off their hands because they had too many bodies. Unfortunately, the bodies are all between the ages of 18 and 35, mostly.
Okay.
And they die from. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
Well, I think that there's a great deal of old people that also have passed, but we're going to have to wait and find out. These kinds of things are still being kept from the public, more or less. So, this has to be a unified front in essence, to get these people up on charges like Fauci and the mass murderers out there, and the doctors and nurses that were fully aware of what they were doing, and they need to be put on charges and tried, etc. So I hope that story will have its day. Yeah.
Nobody walks away scot-free from this. Nobody.
Yeah.
You have to wait for the movie to be over. Quantum Summit 1776.com. Quantum Summit 1776.com. 166 Center Street for you guys that want to come buy a ticket at the door. I got an extra 25 seats for all you guys who don't want to do the computer stuff. It's okay. It's all good. We're ready for you. So come on down. There's gonna be a lot of incredible people, and she's very incredible. I can't wait to meet you. I actually got to talk to you a bunch of times on camera, but I never got to meet you in person. This will be the first time her and I get to meet, which is awesome.
Okay. Yes, absolutely. All right. You take care. And thank you,
everyone, Kerry.
for
Thank
watching.
you for inviting me. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.